Today, we are going to be looking over the hot takes that were submitted for the month of March. There are some contenders for god-awful, disgusting take of the year, so let's take a gander at them. Coming in from Ascendancy 6-7, Shadows of Evil was one of the harder maps to 255 until Junction Strat was discovered and ruined the map. For some context, this is Alex, who has done all three categories on Shadows of Evil 255, Megas, Classics, and No Gum. I personally view that he is right since Waterfront Strat looked to be way more challenging than Junction Strat, but there are multiple maps I can think of that prove to be more challenging for different reasons. You have the longer and more mentally taxing maps like Shi No Numa or Nocturne Toten, or the maps where the strategies are more challenging than Waterfront like Barucht or even Zetsubou no Shima, mainly referring to the Skull Room strategy. I agree with Junction ruining the map though. Next take coming in from Sports Legend 6-7, Transit is the best map if you play with 4 players. I'm not entirely sure what Mr. Sports Legend is on about here, other than it being 2012 and the newest COD just came out, and he hopped on the game with the boys after school. I believe that the words transit, best, and map should never be in the same sentence or thought process. Barf. Next tape coming in from Zach067, why does everyone have 6-7 in their name? Bus Depot Survival was the best survival map on Black Ops 2. In terms of difficulty, it is perceived as the most difficult since no infinite damaging wonder weapon and no quick revive. Raygun Mark II Trade Out Simulator with fire zombies can be a fun challenge, but the best survival map is Town since it has the highest replayability. Decent take, but I would disagree. Up next is Golden 12Z. Die Rise is an amazing map. Had this take come up about 3 to 4 years ago, I would have flamed this all the way back to the sun, but after learning the strategy once its liquefier falls off is quite a challenge, but very rewarding once run correctly. The Easter egg isn't too complex and can be done under an hour quite easily. Having a locker that you can put an upgrade AN94 in makes the setup better, but I would have only said the map is amazing if they made it a way to get to PhD Flopper. Everyone already knows that Treyarch put the perk on the map in an inaccessible location, but that's the difference between good and amazing in my opinion. Next take coming up from Rotting 888, you won't do Octagonal Ascension blindfolded. This is hot takes and not a video suggestion poll. Plus, I would be at my desk for 6 to 7 months consecutively, and I still wouldn't be able to do this. Hard pass, but thanks for the comment. Up next is Tire, Derice, no traps. This is potentially one of the worst ideas I've ever read in my life. There are maps like Nocturne Toten that have no traps, and the only way to kill zombies is by trading out the Thunder Gun a million times. I'm not saying that trade out strat's a bad idea for Derice, but using no traps while trading is silly because if you can progress the round even by one zombie horde, do it. Up next is Resnob115 Vacation. My hot take, BO4 Zombies has really good concepts and maps. Let's just avoid the ether maps, the chaos story. Wow man, it's incredible. Those characters only remained in BO4, but chaos story was like having an extended spin-off of side characters, like having 4 maps with Shadow of Evil's crew. Maps had an incredible atmosphere, ambience, sound, and accuracy. Everything added to Chaos maps is unique. Easter eggs were hard but amazing, and high rounds were unique. Plus, we had the occasion to have some unbelievable wonder weapons like the Alistair's personal pistol on Dead of the Night, or the 4 hands in Ancient Evil. Playing BO4 Zombies in 2026 is a real fun experience, especially for older players. This isn't the first time that I've heard this because the zombie guru, or I like to call him Jake from State Farm, had mentioned to me about 31 times to play Black Ops 4, but I personally don't want to learn about a game that's 8 years old that I haven't played seriously before. Working on a video right now where I rank certain wonder weapons, and BO4 has some of the best weapons ever, but it has a lot to do with the zombies' health cap at around 35. For those who are interested in learning BO4, there are tons of videos out there, but I'm just not one of them. Up next is Evan Guide YT. BO7 is the greatest COD Zombies game ever. This is clearly a joke from Mr. Evan, but it just reminded me to check out why I think Activision gave up in my most recent video before this one. To summarize, Black Ops 7 is the worst zombies game ever. Hope you're doing well, Evan, though. Up next is Flame Horizon 1341. Moon is a terrible map on the same tier as Transit and Die Rise. Great idea, but not well executed or that much fun to play. I used to think that exact same thing not even more than 2 years ago. However, I've learned a lot of new tech with Moon that makes it a joy to play. The Easter egg is arguably the best in COD history. The Simon Says step is very memorable to the community, and as previously discussed, Transit and Die Rise are on the bottom of the totem pole in my personal opinion. In terms of high rounding, being able to acquire 8 max ammos a round, using Gersh's to force said drops when low on wave gun ammo, or even the QEDs can kill the astronaut or give a wave gun drop. I disagree with this one, but mainly just because Moon has a lot going on, but I understand your frustration. Up next is Only One Molly. Hot take, Black Ops 1 story was better than Black Ops 2, changed my mind. Can't even count how many times I've mentioned the BO1 campaign being better than the BO2 campaign. In terms of the zombie storyline, it's a lot closer than some would think, but I actually agree with this take, Black Ops 1 getting the edge here. Up next is Ted the Bus Driver. All the COD maps except Transit was bad in terms of story. True rage bait material here, and I think it's because I took his buttons away on my Twitch streams. On a serious note, Called the Dead and Moon cleared Transit without even thinking too hard, and the fact that 5 was based in the Pentagon with a former US president and the boss round is a crazy doctor, yeah, Transit can't even compare. Up next is Scythe 6-7. Zombies is ass. Brother and Kurt Christian Stewart. This isn't even a take, but it's nice to see you sticking around. I disagree with the take, but I see where you're coming from. Hope you're doing well. Up next is Whatever Step 7936. Gorod Krovi is immensely overrated, and I would put Zetsubou no Shima over it in a heartbeat. I love Zetsubou and think the setup process is much more fun to do on that map and feels so smooth and rewarding to go through, while Gorod is just way too hectic and even unfair at times with how the drones will just block your path and just come on. Also, the spider fight in Zetsubou is so cool, and the skull of what? Is like top 3 specials of all time. I could glaze Zetsubou all day. Gorod, I find more things annoying about it than good. I can 100% get behind Gorod being overrated just because the Reagan Mark III is doo-doo butt cheeks. And if you kill a single Valkyrie on your way to 255, it'll literally crash your game and you'll have to restart on round 1. This is actually a very good take, and I can actually see a lot of the community choosing Gorod over Zetsubou, but Zetsubou with the plan, say being able to have multiple perks and just the skull in itself, I agree, Zetsubou is over Gorod. Up next is Numbskull Cannon 6425. Exo Zombies is genuinely good except for Infection. Outbreak and Career are B tier maps, Descent being a good contender for A tier, not top 10 or number 5 unlike a certain someone. I have no idea what that certain someone is, but I'm very intrigued. Hopefully you're watching this video and leave a comment on that. I personally played Exo Zombies for maybe a total of 46 minutes, maybe. I'd have to go back and look into my Steam folder, but the fact that they couldn't hook me in, which I'm pretty easy gamer to, cooperate with as long as it's somewhat balanced and favorable towards the player, I would have to say I slightly disagree, but my sample size is pretty tiny. Up next is Ryan Jennings Jr. Transit is better than Die Rise, and it's not even close. I hate to break it to you, Ryan, but Die Rise is significantly better than Transit, and that's not even close. The fact that Die Rise is even playable after Solidifier falls off after round 100, while the jet gun on Transit requires a glitch to even function correctly, and if that piece of junk breaks, you're better off going outside and swan diving into a pile of leaves. Hard pass on this one. Up next is Marissi Guba. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. BO4 time slips should have also decreased the AAT timers, especially with how slow and weak they are compared to BO3. To be honest, the AAT timers aren't really that big of a factor in my eyes since Zombies health caps at around 35, but for other categories, I could see how this is frustrating. BO3 AATs were truly something with Deadwire only needing 5 seconds to recharge and in turn taking 15 seconds. I agree with this take in the categories without the health cap. Up next, we have Jar Too Easy, one of the OGs. Vanguard's launch was the greatest launch in video game history. It's nice to see Jar back in the community because for those who don't know, Jar and I met in June of 2022, and we made a lot of content together, and he gave me permission to add the Too Easy to my name. As for this take, I vividly remember him playing Shi No Numa Vanguard Zombies, and him getting bored while getting to round 100. Saying it's the greatest launch in video game history is like yelling into a cave with no one in it. Nice to see you, my friend. Up next, we have Amputation Nation. BO3 Shi No Numa ain't that bad as long as you got DS4C patch. Yeah, it's absolutely maddening if you have to rely on my most hated factor of all time, and that is random perk spawns. Having the DS4C patch for those who aren't on PC, you're able to select perk order and the idea of the entire map goes up into dust. I disagree because I hate the BO3 WAF and the map is extremely slow to say the least, and that is coming from the Knocked Lover. Next we have NBA Bub Bub. BO2 extremely overrated. In terms of zombies, I can get behind this idea, but saying that the campaign and multiplayer is overrated can put you behind bars for 30 years. I hope you reconsider your actions, but I disagree with this take, and I hope you're doing well, Mr. Bub. Up next is Glitch Joshi 6-7. Knocked is the best Call of Duty map of all time. This is the perfect take to end on because I'm going to be returning to Knocked No Gum very soon, but no definite date has been set yet. However, Knocked is the most boring map of all time. The strategies for BO1 and BO3 Knocked are very easy, but it can be played without using brain cells. The main reason for this is because of how far back the zombie spawns from the barriers. If any map needed ceiling spawners, it was this map. Shout out to Joshi for getting this take in at the buzzer. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to smash that like button so I know that we have to do this again in April, and let's go for 30 likes on this one. Comment down below which take was the best and which take was the worst, but other than that, my name is Zach, and you have made it to my next video. Peace.